And you know what? We killed that idea. We said, no, we are not going to do it, because you know why? You're going to know what the answer is. Right? When you buy over a company, you know exactly what there's going to be uncertainty, whether they're going to have a job, they'll be concerned about where they're going to put me, they'll be concerned about, am I going to still get my salary, So you roughly know what the responses are going to be. So we decided not to do a survey at all. What we did instead was we brought them into the room and we had different clusters. So we had focus group, we had culture assimilation sessions. We put the GE guys with the Alstom guys. We kind of start talking about, hey, what is your Alstom culture? And they like go through with us, yeah, this is how we are as a company. And then we from GE, we go through how we are. Okay, let's find where we work common together, and let's find where we are different, and let's handle the differences. Okay, so in that case, we decided no survey at all, and so that's why I probably am not giving a direct answer. I think it's always very important to understand what's the purpose, what you want to impact, and then you kind of think about, okay, how do I go about doing this? And doing little experiments, it's okay. It's better to fail early. It's not going to be costly, rather than making a decision, going for it, and then you realize, oh, shoots, I should have done this, right? So I hope it gave some tips. Thank you. Can I take on Pravin's question just now? Yeah. Right. So, Pravin, that's a great question, because for us, different persona expects different thing. And the persona, the high-driven performance guys, huge bunch of them in GE, and they really have different expectations. And you have some valid point in terms of engagement and disengagement. At least my observation with the people that I work with, they become so highly engaged when you're talking about delivering priorities, outcome, and results. They'll be out there. But if I call them to attend my training programs, if you are asking them to come for training or some get-together events, they will not be there. That's where you see they're disengaged a little bit. But what we realize is that, or at least some of the observation for this group, they love being empowered. They love to be able to make that call and decision. They want to call the shots. So some of the things that we do with this team is that, the guys from Global don't necessarily control them. In fact, get a lot of input from them. And that's how I've observed empowerment, decision making, localizing, stuff like that, kind of help engage them a little bit more, right? And of course, different personas, we look at different things. Yeah. Hope that helps. Thank you.
Thank you. And the third question coming from, oh yes, the lady.
Thank you. My name is Liba. I'm from Bank Danamon. I want to ask to Sugunah from GE. How GE prepare the leaders and also get commitment from the leaders to enhance this employee experience in GE? And did you find any challenges or resistance from the leaders, and how you can handle, if there are any? And then the last question is about how GE treat the retired people after they leave GE. Thank you.
Okay. My moderator told me you got 5 minutes. Okay. So I'll take the first question in terms of maybe the challenges. We'll take the question on challenges. I think then the second question is, how do you treat the retired people who are retiring? And there was a one. Sorry, I thought that was my favorite. Sorry? Yes, the leadership. Great. Okay. I'll do the leadership first. It's my favorite. So there are different things that we do in GE. I mean, focus for us in developing leaders, and obviously this has been a secret recipe for the company to be sustaining for more than 130 years. It's its ability to adapt through the different moments. I think Luz presented yesterday when Dow Jones Index started more than 100 years ago, GE was there with many other companies, and after 100 years, every other companies are no more in the list. because new companies have come in, everything else is gone, and GE is still there. That's because its ability to adapt over time with the different external environment that comes in. And the biggest key recipe is, of course, the leadership. Okay? So going back to preparing leaders, we don't have one secret formula. I think from what we do in the organization is definitely our belief. One of our belief is learn and adapt to win. Learn and adapt to win. So we constantly, that's one of our mantras. We do a lot of development through on the job. 80% is on the job. 20% is a little bit more formal classroom sessions or going for conferences like this. What I really admire about the leadership is that our top leaders, like our chairman, Jeff Email, who just retired, and people at his level, they actually spend 1/3 of their time just coaching others. So delivering results, spending time with customers is very important, but our leaders spend 1/3 of their time to just put away the work, and they just spend time in coaching the next generation. And I think that wealth of knowledge that's passed on for generation to generation has helped. And people like Luz and myself, we have this obligation because we see our leaders do it. So in turn, we spend a lot of time coaching our next generation. That comes very naturally as a culture. Networking is very, very important for us in GE. Second question in terms of retirement, yeah. So we believe in celebration in the company. I think that's something that we need to do more. Sometimes we tend to forget because we are trying to pursue the goal priorities. But this is one thing that we are being encouraged is do a lot more celebrations, do a lot more reward and recognition. So when it comes to retirees, we have a lot of pride for people who stayed long in the company, because it can be sometimes daunting when you go through so many changes. So people who stay and go through and navigate through the changes and become much more developed and wholesome employees is something that we celebrate. So we actually do celebrate our retirees. We have alumni that we bring them back. We proudly talk about them as well. And sorry, the third one was? That's all. All right, thank you very much. I hope that helps.
Wow, I make a lot of notes here, but just to keep it short, from Lisa, the key words for me is to have a successful engagement with your employee during tough times, is to have active and visible leadership. And from Sugunah, I learned that even a gigantic, a mammoth like GE, we still need to adapt even to a point where just a regular things that we do might not be enough, 1/3 of the time for developing your people, that's like 15 hours. That's a lot of time. So thank you for the wake-up call. So let's give our two speakers a round of applause. And I'll give the time back to Irna.
Thank you, Pak Andrili. One more big round of applause, please. It's a wonderful session. And I invite Pak Slamet Supriyanto to give the token of appreciation. Yeah. Picture. And for Elisa. Yeah, pictures together now. All right, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, as you're all requesting the materials and printed handouts for all these sessions, please note that the materials will be sent via email. So make sure that you have filled in your certificate form, and if you don't write your email there, then you can hand in your business card or your email address to the registration desk. And the updated printed materials are still in progress due to dynamic updates of the materials. So please kindly wait. You will